Hello, Sonia. Nice to meet you again. We've been knowing each other for, is it almost for 2 years now? They're connecting, enjoying working together through mentoring programs as a judge for the panels. I'm Aziza Bouabdallah. I'm the founder of EDucaZia. I've created this nonprofit organizations to support parents, youth, and also organizations at the beginning through COVID crisis. And now I believe that's the way to move forward, including dignity of women and children.
Yes.
So now let's talk about you, Sonia Toledo.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate having this conversation with you.
Would you mind to present yourself, like a bit of your biography, Sonia? What brought you to dignity of children, who you are, what's your background?
I could definitely start with I'm a single mother with two young men. They're now both in their 30s. My youngest has a baby girl. Her name is Nora, and she's a year old. And my oldest is married with his wife, Marina. And he's been married for about 2 years now. And I'm really proud of my sons. I have to say, how I got to where I'm at now is my experience as a single mom in Harlem, New York. And it really had me think about, what do my children need in order to be safe and succeed in this society? And a lot of my work is based on my experience with my children. The same thing is with my own background. My mom migrated from Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico and then had me and my sister, we're twins, and migrated to the Bronx with 7 siblings, with 7 children. My mother and my grandmother came to the Bronx, New York. I was 4 years old, and we've been in New York ever since. But I also want to base my work with dignity of children with my childhood experience. So in my childhood, I've experienced not only abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, as well as just chaos. If you could even imagine, we being the youngest, most of my siblings, my sisters and brothers were older. So they were young adults here in the States, and they also had their own challenges. And I experienced a lot with them because there was a lot going on when I was young. But the other part of it is, I struggled with my academics during my school age years. And that's another reason why I feel that the work that I do with dignity of children is so critical. From my experience having a learning disability, I've struggled with my self-esteem, with my self-worth as a child and a young adult and adult, period, because I think I'm still working on it. But all of those experiences is what brought me to be so passionate and clear about what dignity of children represents. If I could put it in a nutshell, my vision, my mission is to create environments where all children are safe and fully self-express so they could thrive.
Yeah, of course, your background is impactful in the way you work. You are inspired by your background, and you're saying it's critical that children are safe and have a good education. What is the issue you are solving exactly within dignity of children?
So with dignity of children, my focus has been on working with educators on creating developmental environments to help children grow socially and emotionally, as well as cognitively, holistic. So the issue that I'm addressing is inequality in education. Inequality in education means that how children are being taught makes a difference on what kind of learner and educator and leader they become. So I find that many of our low-income communities struggle with creating environments that help children feel a sense of competence, self-worth, a sense of building their skills and have a desire for learning. So the inequality comes into the lack of knowledge that our educators And it's not only knowledge, skills, but also a sense of understanding the child developmental needs in order for them to grow. So, for example, a child can't learn if they don't have the basics. It's just like when we grow a plant, you put the seed in the soil, but if the soil is not rich and nutritious and moist and tend to, and give a little bit of sun, the seed doesn't grow.
Yes.
So, I see myself as creating really nutritious soil for our children. I think every child deserves an equitable opportunity for education.
So you are also putting an end somehow to inequalities in communities where with, of course, lower revenues, lower wages, it's more difficult to access good level of education, let us say.
So we've been working lately on 21st century skill building. If we think about the industrial age, is the 20th, the 19th, and the 20th century, when industries, factories, and trains, and railroads, and buildings, and bridges were being built. The country was being built. What we needed was workers. We needed workers to build what we have. And, like when you look at a factory building cars, you have a chain of repeated actions in order to get the car finalized. So it's like a routine. So our education is based on the industrial age, where everybody does the same thing. Everybody gets online and follow in order to produce an item. So our education system is based on industrialization, which means that you only want workers in the bottom, and only a few get to be thinking. Well, now we're in an industry of information. The 21st century, it's engage in information like this. So now the workers are being eliminated because it's being taken over by machines. Machines are able to do what workers were trained to do, educated to do their whole lives. So we can't continue to educate our kids the way we were educating them, not even before the pandemic. We have to change the way we're educating. And we have to have kids learn how to critically think, communicate, be creative, and collaborate, and learn how to collaborate. So those are the 4 C's that they talk about 21st century learning. But the 4 C's is not just the 4 C's as much as it is teaching kids how to be innovative, teaching kids the skills of making a difference outside of themselves, being in service to their community, teaching kids how to really get information, accurate information, in order for them to make accurate decisions and actions for themselves. And the same thing as like just the basis of setting goals and being able to realize that things are a process, and you get to take your goals and succeed in different bites, right? Learn how to build your own life through little successful sessions. It's like, oh, I got it this time. I got a lot to do, but I'm better than where I was. That's the distinction with 21st century. So we're really focusing on 21st century learning and skill building. So children are very well-versed technology. AI is taking over. So why not teach our kids how to use AI efficiently, effectively, as well as build more technology. Right now, learning how to communicate that's what's going to get you in advance. So you'll be able to talk to anyone, a banker, a professional, a businessman, whoever you need to talk to be able to deliver your intent is what we're teaching kids. We're teaching kids on how to be expressive and design, like even the expression during our competition, where the judge, and that part always cracks me up, because judges, you know what I'm talking about. When the kids present, they forget that they're advising young adults, right, know what they're doing. They're tough. The judges ask really tough questions. The judges ask questions that have the young people think, and to hear the young people have a response, or even like a research, or even like I'm going to get back to you, but I'm going to learn more about that. That interaction right there helps young people. It's tough, but it's real. That's what life is about. So we're asking them we're putting them in scenarios of real life situation for world learning.
Yeah.
For lifelong learning.
And especially now you're talking about the explosion of social media, information and everything. There's also the bad side of the story, right? Many kids are getting lost with the social medias. Life is real, like you said, life is something very real, and it's not something you can live behind a screen.
Yeah.
And this is something I'm alarmed. Of course, AI is coming.
It's here.
It's here. And I still want the kids, and this is what I do with the in Solar Rain, like use your mind. Your mind is the most important tool you have. This is the most important tool you have. Of course, you can use AI. Sometimes be careful when you use it. Don't replace your intelligence with AI.
Right.
Somehow.
But we need to teach that. Do you get what I'm saying? So what's happening is that adults are have a lot of anxiety around the technology, and are not really sure how the technology could advance them. So we try to push it away. We're like, no technology, no social media, no this, no that. But if we don't teach our children what really is the heart of our society now, which is technology. Everything is in technology. Look at how fast things go nowadays. Something happens in the news and a camera will show everything. The whole world sees it. We weren't living like that before. So this is a new era that we need to learn how to learn in it. We need to train ourselves to be able to use this technology for our best interests versus it taking over.
Versus being used by the technology. And this is what's happening most of the time.
I think giving our children insights, things to think about, giving them that sense of like, well, wait a minute, we have a lot to solve on this world. Having a world consciousness is really the base of the work that we do, is having young children understand what's happening on a global level, and then also bringing it down to a social service. So say, let me make a difference in my community. And that's where we could start. I could start where I am right now to make a difference in the world. Making those connections are huge. If there's one woman who's not free of expression, no women are free of expression.
Even in France, I think that talking about women, not about youth, let's say for a couple of minutes, I always say if women are not protected in France, because it is a country of democracy, of freedom of expression, of legal rights, I say women are not protected anywhere, period. You know what I mean? If we are struggling, and this is women and children are the society of tomorrow, I talk in general.
Yes.
So it's alarming.
It's
and while we were talking about abuse, abusive behaviors, violence is increasing. Of course, we are in contact more and more often with screens, social medias, etc., and somehow the behaviors have changed, and we still don't know somehow how it is connected to violence, but there must be a direct connection.
Yeah.
And I believe, again, if women are struggling in Europe or in North America, we have a serious issue everywhere in the world.
There is no one that is safe.
And when I'm talking about women, I'm talking about children.
Yes. Yes.
Because women are 90% of the time the educators of children. right? We are still in a very patriarchal society. Let's be honest.
Yes.
It makes me wonder sometimes,
We have a lot of work to do. And I think one of the things that helps me understand the evolution of our society, of our world, we are here because there's a clear reason why we're here. There were things that we did in the past as a society that didn't work, that is coming up for us. We have to address.
True.
We got to address it because then it's going to continue. I feel conflicted putting it on our children, but I also feel that if we do not support our children in understanding what's the truth in our world and in our society, we're going to lose them too. We're going to lose our children to this perpetuation of inferiority, of there's always power over others, there's control. It's a mindset. So for me to feel powerful, I have to put you down.
Yeah.
It's a concept that it's across the world in many countries. So it happens in various places, from women to children, anyone of color, LGBTQ community, just anyone who's different to be different is going to be chastised. We call them the others, but in the truth is that the only thing, everybody is an other besides a white male. I do know that many people want to make a difference for our children, to have the strength, the power, the empowerment, the intelligence to create their own lives that also impacts lives that they're in, right? So if they know how to care for themselves and navigate their world, then they'll take care of the people around them, like their community, the people that they represent.
I think from my side, you have the right to have your opinion. And I think your opinion is very respectful and you have a lot of integrity when you talk. So it's more than receivable for everyone. Your personal story, Sonia, how does this impact dignity of children? A bit about your personal story. What happened exactly to you, if you want to share a bit about your story?
Well, I focus mainly on the academic experience that I've had when I was in K-12. And then it was also from home to school, right? So I kind of managed to figure out in school how to just be just enough to get by, right? Okay. So I worked hard enough to pass my grades. I worked hard enough to pass, a test or what was in front of me, but I struggled to do that. But I managed to get through my K-12 without repeating a grade and having decent grades. But I was chastised and bullied because of my academic shortcomings. So, I know I was diagnosed when I was a child, and I got diagnosed again in college for learning disability. My son also got diagnosed as learning disability, and I love talking to him because the other day we had such a great conversation about, he remembers one of his teachers saying to him, it was his art teacher, and he said, you're a genius. And he's looking like, what do you mean I'm a genius? He's like, his ability to draw and be like detailed very detailed in his drawing and produce it quickly was amazing. So he was remembering how in middle school he needed to prepare a portfolio for his art, and his teacher found this piece of artwork and said, "Oh my God, you're a genius! Like, look at the detail of this." And it was upside down. It wasn't even, he did the whole art. It was a building, and he did it upside down. And again, she didn't see his dyslexia, which was, it's supposed to be the other way around. She saw his creativity, his passion, and his details in his writing. So what I'm saying is that people with dyslexia just learn differently. They see the world differently. So that's how I know myself to be a genius. I know my son to be a genius because we have insights that other people don't have because we don't see the world the same way. So saying all that, as I was growing up in my grade schools, I was dealing more with my with being bullied, believing that I'm worth anything, believe that I'm smart. I had to learn how to do that for myself because the people around me just chastised and made my difference wrong. And this is happening not just to children with learning disability. This is happening to any child that's different. It doesn't meet the mark.
Mhm.
And that has been my drive and my reason why I designed Dignity of Children, because my focus was, let me support the environments that children are learning in. And how could I do that? I teach teachers. And that's the vehicle. I create curriculums for training teachers, and I also create curriculums for teaching children 21st century skills.
So you train the trainer. How smart is it?
Train the trainer. Exactly.
Very good. What are your bigger plans, objectives, ambitions? Let's dream a bit.
Woohoo! I got some big ones. I got some big ones. It's like, why dream small, right? When you can have it big. So Dignity of Children has been in existence for 15 years. We're in our 15th year. And we've been mainly focusing on professional development for teachers and after-school professionals. And then we created curriculums called Ideas by Youth. And those curriculums are like in entrepreneurship and climate change, health and wellness, financial literacy. We believe that why not begin teaching children real life skills as young as kindergarten, so they have it throughout their whole lives, not just wait till they're in college and decide, what am I going to be when I grow up? So the experience, the exposure of what's happening at a global level helps children understand globally what's happening and also what matters to them, right? So when we think about what matters to you, just like me having my experience not being not so good during school had me create Dignity of Children. So I do believe that through adversity, if we dig enough, children will find their not only passions, but purpose and things that matter to them. And that will give them a direction for wanting to learn more, because you need the skills to make a difference. So when you get that sense of, I want to make a difference for somebody else, you feel like, oh, I want to learn because I want to do this. I want to make a difference here. For years, it's brought us to this point. So now we actually will be launching a nonprofit organization in the next few months, which we're basically just waiting for the nonprofit to come across. My vision is to create a model after school program or school support. In other words, a program that is focused on 21st century learning through world experience. So we're looking at bringing our curriculum into a model after school and possibly duplicate it on a global level.
And is it part of Dignity of Children, or does it have another name? Or
well, it's called Ideas by Youth.
Ideas by Youth, okay.
Ideas by Youth. So since Dignity of Children created it, we're always going to be partnering, but it's a separate organization. So Dignity of Children's curriculum and training will always be supporting the after-school world, which would be Ideas by Youth.
Well, I would love to be part of this another vision or journey or
globally, because I feel that the people in each community know their children. So let's train those people to create these environments where every child is like developing and, and adjusting their pathway to their own lives.
I'm excited already.
I'm excited too. And we're going to start with middle schoolers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're going to start with middle schoolers, but then work our way to elementary, because we need to do some adjustments with the curriculum for the elementary population. But middle school and high school is where we're beginning to, focus on.
Okay.
And you
Awesome.
met some of our high schoolers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they experience our curriculum for just one semester, and you see the result.
Yeah. They're impressive in general.
And you would say, well, they're different. They would say, oh, these are different kids. These are not other kids. And I was like, no. We opened the door for them and they stepped in.
Mm.
That's
And
what
saying to someone you are different, I think it's I think it's a very low qualification. Please elaborate. Compared to what? What is is there any standard? What is a standard?
Exactly.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
So like different supposed to be a negative connotation. No, difference is actually good. Difference is really us seeing each other for who we really are and valuing that we're all one. We're all human race.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
But when I say different is like, in order for me to protect myself and you're different, I need to move you away, or I need to, you know what I'm saying? That's the different concepts of how you perceive difference.
Or I don't understand and you are scaring me, so I qualify you as different.
Yes.
I use the word different to qualify you.